remember in 2004, I had a good friend by the name of Derek. He came up to me and he was like, "Hey Michelle, you know I work for the record label." And I was like, "Okay, that's great." He was like, "You know I work for Sony Music, and Super Bowl weekend is coming into town, and we need to expand our street team." So I was like, "Okay, what is a street team?" And he was like, "Well, a street team is a group of college-age students, pretty much on campus, but also off campus. They'll go to concerts, music venues, record stores when we had them, and they will go and promote the artists, hang up posters, distribute flyers." And I'm like, clubs, celebrities, Super Bowl weekend, count me in. I'm there, I'm your girl. I'm all about having fun. And I ended up having the best time of my life. It was one of the most memorable experiences. I actually ended up falling in love that weekend, right? not with the ball player, not with the celebrity, but with marketing. It was my first experience with marketing. Not on the other end watching the commercial and going to the store, but really understanding what is influencer marketing, what is product development, what is brand awareness, promoting artists, products, people, brands. I couldn't even imagine anything like it. It was guerrilla marketing 101. I spent the next 3 years immersing myself in anything and everything pertaining to the entertainment business, music marketing, because I thought this was my career path. And I was fortunate. I worked on a movie set, a few music videos, started writing for some magazines, some physical indie magazines. You remember those? And I'm interviewing these artists, and I was like, "This is great. I can interview an artist and get paid to write an article." It's like, this is the life. But there was one problem. The problem was I was creating this content, but I didn't have any control of the content. So I'm doing these interviews, and yes, I would pitch it to a magazine, I would submit it, and most of the time I did get paid, but there's other times where, well, we don't know if we're gonna use that article. We don't know when we're gonna publish. And then, God forbid, if it was a quarterly magazine, you just never know when you're gonna get paid, right? And I was like, there has to be a better way for me to control this content that I was creating. And it was around 2007, and I'm starting to hear this word blog. And I'm like, okay, let me figure this thing out. So WordPress pops up. And WordPress was very new at the time, maybe about 4 years old. And actually the founder of WordPress, he's from here, Houston. I don't know him, but he is a Houstonian. So let me figure this thing out. I jump on WordPress, and okay, after a couple of days of trickling things, I have a blog. And this was great because now the information, the press releases and the stuff that I was getting from the labels and the agencies, they were sending it to me, and I was able to, instead of having a week or a month turnaround time, I'm able to get this on my website within a matter of hours. Everyone was happy. And I'm like, okay, I'm onto something, and if I can figure this thing out, I can have some banner ads and some pop-ups, and I can charge them for this ad space. I'm about to figure out this internet marketing thing. I'm on a mission. And around that same time, someone was like, "Hey Michelle, you need to jump on MySpace." I'm like, okay, jump on MySpace. I'm gonna figure this thing out. We're gonna figure out a blog, we're gonna figure out MySpace. And I jumped on MySpace, and I'm like, okay, connecting with all these people, like-minded individuals. Also, they're trying to do music, whether they're an artist or a business. We're all here trying to figure this thing out. And what I realized is that I can take the articles from my blog and I can promote them on MySpace. And I'm like, okay, this might be a distribution channel, because if I have a blog, how am I gonna get people to know about my blog? So this is one way to get people to know about my blog. And I'm like, okay, and so people are seeing my articles and everything, and then other artists were like, "Hey, I like what you're doing. Can you write a bio for me? Can you write a press release for me?" And got my little freelance. I'm like, okay, well, this is business. This is promoting my business, my services, and I'm making money. This is great. On the other end, I remember one day I log into MySpace and I get a message from a young lady, and she was like, "Hey Michelle, I don't know if you know me or not, but my name is Yvonne, and we have the same father. It's my sister. Always known about the sister, or known about her, but what was I gonna do? There was no digital footprint, there was no MySpace, no Facebook. But she had the initiative to send me a message, and I was grateful. And I was thinking, like, wow, something's here with this social networking platform where it can connect you with lost family and friends on one end, and it's great. And then on the other end, I'm able to connect with strangers and promote my services and generate money and have this form of business in my early 20s. So fast forward a little bit, I have this relationship with my sister. It's 2009, and I go to Atlanta to visit her. And I graduated from Atlanta, but time has gone by. As soon as I graduated, I moved to Houston, so really didn't have much contact with some of my classmates. So I'm complaining to her. I was like, I can't get in touch with anyone, whatever, complaining. She's like, well, you need to be on Facebook. And I'm like, no, I'm good, I'm on MySpace. She's like, you need to be on Facebook. Everyone's on Facebook. You can find anyone on Facebook. And I'm like, okay. I jump on Facebook, and I promise you, it felt like within 24 hours, I found like 50 of my high school classmates. It's like once I connected with one, it's like bam, 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 bam. And it was just a matter of days for me to pretty much connect with my whole class. It was a small class. And I truly believe if I didn't jump on Facebook in 2009, I wouldn't have been able to go to my high school reunion in 2010. You're probably thinking, okay, Michelle, like we got some CE credits that we need to earn. But this is what I get from my sister, whether it's personal or professional. What she told me back then is going to remain true. When it comes to social media, you have to go where the audience is. You have to go where the audience is. And lots of times we have a hard time because, well, let me ask you something. By a show of hands, when MySpace came out, when Facebook came out, YouTube came out, that 2006, 2008 window, how many of you thought it was for children? 13, 17 years old? How many of you thought it was a fad? Right? And where are we now? Social media is here to stay, right? And it's ever changing and it's evolving. And because of that, we have to adapt. We have to adapt to these platforms, and we have to adopt our own message on those platforms in hopes that we can find our audience. And that is what navigating the digital space is all about.